You are looking live at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. This is the 2023 NCAA Division III Baseball National Championships. And then there were two identical teams in search of that piece of hardware. The Johns Hopkins Blue Jays against the Lynchburg Hornets in Game 2 in our best of 3 series for all the marbles. Greetings, everybody. Bob Brain along with my partner, Bill Brophy, and our Tupelo Honey crew here in Cedar Rapids. Yesterday, we saw the Hornets grab Game 1 by the score of 5-2. Get a W here this morning in Cedar Rapids, and they will be national champions for the first time in school history. They made their way to this tournament for the first time in school history. Johns Hopkins is here for the 6th time. They have been close, but no cigar. So they need to win Game 2 to force a winner-take-all Game 3 to be played later this afternoon. On the hill for the Lynchburg Hornets, there he is, the right-hander, Brandon Pond.
Well, Pond has been one of the pitching stars of the tournament. The other night, he threw one of 3 complete games that Lynchburg has had in this tournament. Gave him 3 runs in the first inning, and then he was lights out against East Texas Baptist University the other night. He scattered 4 hits allowed to 3 first-inning runs and thrown a complete game, struck out 9 and walked 2 in his first appearance in the tournament. On the year, he's been a big game guy, 5-1 with an ERA of 2.6. Through 6 innings, a 1-run ball in the Super Regional against Shenandoah. He's been their best pitcher down the start on a staff which has been lights out all year, really, and certainly here in Cedar Rapids.
Here's the batting card for Hall of Fame coach Bob Babb. Cooper, Souvenir, Stoyer, Frank in the cleanup spot, Myers, Sear is the designated hitter, Stevens, Whitney, and Browning. Cooper stepping into the batter's box for the Blue Jays. First pitch on the way to him from Pond to get Game 2 underway. And it's a swing and a miss.
Cooper's the home run leader in Division III. Hit 24 this year, but he's been very quiet here in Cedar Rapids. 4 for 23. Gets aboard here, though.
It's hit by the baseball. Tried to duck and run for cover, could not. So leadoff man aboard for Hopkins. First pitch was 11:04 a.m. Central Time here in Iowa. 70 degrees, very pleasant morning to play Game 2. Now Souvenir, the first baseman.
Wind not a factor. This is a grass field. Pond hit a batter the other night in pitching his complete game. But by and large, he had good control against East Texas Baptist.
2-0 to Souvenir.
Baffled him with his slider, and having control issues out of the gate here today.
Goes after that one, fouls it back. Let's set the defense for the Lynchburg Hornets. It's been good here at the tournament. Neves, Atkins, Harding in the outfield, left to right. Collins, Garcia, Jones, and Hyatt on the infield, left to right. Fiedler's the catcher for the right-hander Pond.
Pond 6'2", 215, a graduate student from Chesterfield, Virginia. This is a roster made up primarily of Virginians. Tandem up the middle that Bob told you about. Jones and Garcia are from Durham, North Carolina, and we're high school teammates, actually.
And they have been special. They hit 1-2 in the batting card, and up the middle, they have been real stingy with their D. 3-1 to Souvenir. And it's ball 4. First 2 men aboard for the Jays in a game they got to have. Off to a good start. And that brings up the hot-hitting Stoyer. Stoyer said yesterday in the presser after the 5-2 loss, he said, I felt like it was one of our better hitting days. We barreled up balls. We just hit those barreled up balls right at the Lynchburg players.
When you play good defense, that'll happen.
Yeah. So we weren't too concerned about their approach at the plate. It's just try to find the holes and not hit it at the gloves. Easier said than done in the game of baseball. Liner. Jones gets there to Garcia, who can't hang on. Souvenir came in hard, and Garcia tried to clip the bag and make the throw. He gets neither. The bases are loaded.
Well hit ball to the second baseman, Jones. Again, he and Garcia played together a long time. That'll be an error on one of them. Let's see who they assess it to. But so Stoyer catches a break there. Hit the ball hard, but and reaches first base because of it. But I would think it'll go down as an error. They still have the rule. So 2 walks or a hit batsman, a walk, and an error has loaded the bases before Pond has retired a hitter. That prompts a mound visit from Fiedler.
I mentioned this yesterday that the Blue Jays, they talk about free bases. What's the opponent going to give us? Well, their opponent just gave them 3 free bases here at the top of the first.
And that's the 5th error in 2 days from Lynchburg, who got here by playing good defense. So they've been sloppy. They had 4 or 3 errors in the last 2 innings yesterday.
Frank to short. Garcia out at second. Thrown out in time as it pulled high off the bag. A run scores as Cooper's in, and Blue Jays strike first in game 2.
So the early command issues cost him a run. Frank putting the ball in play. They attacked early in the count yesterday against Zach Potts, who scattered 7 hits. And Stoyer's mind had a lot of atom balls. I didn't see it that way. He mowed him down. And they can spin it any way they want, but Potts was good yesterday. Pond would love to turn in a similar performance here, but he starts shakily.
Tried to drop one down to trip Myers. Bob Babb, the Hall of Fame coach, 44th year as the head coach at his alma mater, Johns Hopkins. He said, I won't say anything to the guys before game 2. Said they're always ready. And similar situation in the Super Regional to get here. They lost the first game to Wheaton, came back to win the next 2 to punch their ticket. Myers fouls it backwards.
Both these teams identical records, 47-7. Lynchburg is unbeaten here in Cedar Rapids. Johns Hopkins lost 1 game in their pool play.
Time is called by the first base umpire, and now everyone putting the hands up. Oh, Sam Frank, wardrobe malfunction, need to tie his shoe. Pond was looking around, wasn't sure what the issue was. So runners at the corners for the Jays, a run in. 1 away from Myers. Swung through it. Fiedler hangs on. 2 outs. First K for Pond.
Pond fan 9 the other night against East Texas Baptist. He's pitching on normal rest.
And now Caleb Sear, the batter. Backup catcher. He's had 1 game behind the plate here. The rest of the games, he's been the designated hitter. Fiedler setting up outside, 1-0.
Sear 1 for 4 yesterday. 5 for 21 in the tournament.
Again, outside. Sear likes to pull the ball. We've seen a lot of that. A couple of big hits down the left field line. Just high, 3-0. Pond. Ball 4. Another free base, as the Jays call it. Bases loaded with 2 down. Here's Jimmy Stevens, the second baseman.
Pond just can't locate the baseball. He's thrown 10 of his 18 pitches for balls, walked a pair and hit a batter. Johns Hopkins hasn't hit a ball out of the infield yet.
Stevens follows it back. A couple days ago, Stevens involved in a collision that it took his teammate Alex Shane, really good-looking freshman outfielder. It's a concussion protocol and out for the tournament. And they miss him. It's a leadoff hitter who was swinging a hot stick. 0-2 to Stevens.
Stevens just 3 of 18 in the tournament. Drove in a run yesterday, however.
And he got Stevens. Pond, a couple of Ks in the inning to avoid any serious damage. A run in for Hopkins in the top half of inning number 1 as the Hornets swing the sticks when we return. Lynchburg's turn to step to the plate here in the bottom half of inning number 1. They will face the right-hander from Wading River, New York. It's Gabe Romano.
Romano's the second-team All-American. It's nice when you can come back in Game 2 with the ace of your staff, but Romano has been just that. He transferred from Quinnipiac, a Division I school, where he pitched for 4 years. Went 10-1 with a 1.76 ERA coming into the tournament. On 64 strikeouts, 82 innings, 14 walks in 82 innings. Before the tournament, he threw 7 innings and gave up 7 hits and 5 runs against Misericordia on opening day. None of those runs were earned, however, as the defense betrayed Romano. He walked 2 and struck out 6 in the tournament opener, did not have a decision.
Brandon Garcia, leadoff man, takes strike 1. We'll give you the rest of the batting card for head coach Lucas Jones in a moment. Garcia's a freshman. Plays the heck out of shortstop. As Bill mentioned, his high school teammate Jones waits on deck. Got a nice tandem and table setters at the top of this Hornets lineup. Gives this one a ride. Browning going back. It's over his head and off the wall. Garcia into second with a leadoff double.
Kept Garcia silent in the bat yesterday. Went 0 for 3, drew a couple of walks and scored a run, but there he yanks one into the right field corner and is on second base with a leadoff double. He's been their leading hitter in the tournament, now 6 for 17. And the Hornets are off and running, looking to tie the game.
Jones in there now. Neves, Pokarak, Hyatt, Collins, Harding, Fiedler, and Atkins. Browning's in right field. And he's replacing the injured Shane. He was playing shallow, and Garcia made him pay. Giving Jones more room now. He's got a little more pop. Myers is shallow in center field for the Jays. 2-0 to Ben Jones.
Jones with 8 homers on the year. Jones 1 for 4 yesterday, scored a run in the series opener. In the tournament, he's now 5 for 15 as a double and a triple and 4 knocked in.
Romano tosses a strike, 3-1.
Not a good-sized kid at 6'5", 200 pounds.
Slicer with foul. Let's set the defense for Johns Hopkins. It's Cooper, Myers, and Browning in the outfield. Stoyer, Whitney, Stevens, and Souvenir left to right on the infield. Sam Frank, the catcher, for the righty Romano. Count is full on Jones. There goes Garcia. And back to second base. Trots the shortstop.
Garcia's second in the club in stolen bases. With 12 coming into the tournament. He hits a swipe of bag air.
Jones up there battling Romano. See the lead by Garcia. Stays put, swing and a miss. Romano finally wins the battle for his first punch out. One away.
Back from 3-0 down to win the battle.
And now here's Avery Neves.
Top run producer for the Hornets is Neves. Went 1 for 4, scored 2 runs yesterday. In the tournament, he's 4 for 16. Driven in 4 runs. Scored 4 runs. .300 hitter on the season.
Little tapper, slowly hit. Whitney gloves it, fires, and foot on the bag. Umpire says, got him. Souvenir with the stretch. First base coach saying, no, I think he was off the bag. Each coach gets 2 challenges, and this may be one right here.
So it's the foot on the bag when he takes the throw. Again, the first base was as close to the call as the first base umpire. Clearly thought he was off the bag and has encouraged Lucas Jones to use one of his challenges.
Again, each coach gets 2. If you win the challenge, then you keep the challenge. From the 8th inning on, it's umpire's discretion. They can look at anything close on their own. Let's give you our men in blue. It's Lou Hammermeyer behind the plate. Brett Mile at first base. Rudy Firmbach at second, Bill Rush at third, Roger Wolf down the left field line, and Michael Chuckerman is down the right field line, and the caucus of all 6 still underway.
I don't understand why.
And now, without a review, they're going to say safe.
I think he said he's safe. Without going to review, I think they said he's safe.
Yeah.
So is Babb going to have to challenge? And I think Babb might right here.
Right.
So they got together, and I'm not sure what the other 5 umpires saw that the guy closest to the play didn't. But anyway, Neves is aboard when there'll be runners on the corners with 1 out unless Babb challenges the play and they find otherwise. Bob Babb, I think, asking for an explanation why they didn't go underneath the hood. You can see it's an animated conversation.
And there will be no video review. So Lucas Jones came out, asked them. It's the first time we've seen the umpiring crew huddle up, but not go and take a look underneath.
It's an error. That's the 9th error. Well, 4 yesterday, 5 the last time Romano pitched. They just have not played well defensively here in Cedar Rapids.
Sean Pokorak gets hit on the behind, and that'll load the bases. And I talked about the free bases that the Blue Jays try to get from their opponent. it applies as well to don't give up the free bases. And what have they done?
Well, they've given up a lot of them. They've given up
too many.
13 free bases. That's their 13th error in 6 games in the tournament. And this is a team, again, playing on grass is different for a lot of these teams who play on turf, but Johns Hopkins hasn't been good defensively in this tournament. Bases loaded for Lynchburg, a chance early to tie.
Eric Hyatt, the batter. 2-0.
Hyatt 2 for 4 yesterday. Got Lynchburg off and running against Johns Hopkins. Drove in 2 runs in the first inning yesterday. Four for 11 in the tournament with 6 RBIs.
Got a strike there, did Romano. 2-1. Little tapper. This will score a run. Can they get the out? They get the out at first. That'll help, but we're even on the scoreboard here in Cedar Rapids.
Hyatt puts the ball in play and knocks in a run. Nice play defensively there by the pitcher to field his position and make a strong throw to get Hyatt for the second out of the inning. Gavin Collins with a chance to break the tie if he can get a 2-out hit.
So Garcia, who doubled, comes home to score. Ball squirts away. Here comes the runner. Here's the throw. Not in time. Hornets lead it 2-1.
And another sloppy play. I think they call it a wild pitch or a pass ball. But Lynchburg will take it. They get in. This throws high, and it enables the base runner Neves, who's a good athlete, to slide in under the tag with the go-ahead run. Good job by Neves to have a secondary lead and anticipate the ball got away and scored.
He did not hesitate. Gloved by Stoyer. He'll turn and make the play. Side retired. But Lynchburg taking advantage of some miscues and sloppiness by Johns Hopkins to take the lead after 1.
The NCAA expresses all gratitude to our corporate champions and partners. Without their support, these great championship moments and opportunities are not possible for the student athletes. The NCAA's commitment to the highest levels of fairness and well-being, along with the pursuit of excellence in both academics and athletics, helps build a championship culture.
Blue Jays trailing 2-1 here. Top of 2, Dylan Whitney to lead it off for Johns Hopkins. Browning to follow the right fielder, then back to the top of the order in Cooper. Bill mentioned Hopkins in their first game here at the tournament, 8 errors committed in the ball game. They were helped when their opponent committed a handful as they rallied late to win that game. But boy, you play with fire.
Well, to underline that point, Romano's not giving up 7 runs in 2 games. All 7 runs are unearned.
Yep. Whitney flies out to right. Here's Browning, the right fielder. And we've seen Browning, Ciani step in when Shane got knocked out.
This is his 3rd straight start, though, so clearly Coach Babb has settled on Browning as his guy in right field. He tried Ciani out there for 1 game.
Pond ahead quickly, 0-2.
Browning 1 for 4 at the plate yesterday, 1 for 5 in the College World Series. For 39 on the year. He's almost had as many starts in this tournament as he had all year.
Got hit. Second hit batsman that Pond has clipped. And aboard for Matthew Cooper. First team All-American is Cooper. Big time numbers. Nation's home run leader. Has not homered here.
Three of his 4 hits here have been for doubles, but he's been pretty quiet. Thorne's been pretty quiet. 4 for 24. Got an opportunity yesterday in the late innings when Johns Hopkins rallied. Was up there with the tying run at first base in the 9th inning, and he popped up.
Sitting 1-1 here with 1 away. Cooper, foul.
Cooper's had a monster year. Was named an academic All-American yesterday. Came in the tournament hitting .431, 13 doubles, a triple, 24 home runs. Certainly been the leader in this team.
Mentioned the academic honor announced yesterday. 31st academic All-American in Hopkins baseball history. It's the most of any baseball program in the nation at any level. They've had a lot of smart dudes over the years. Pond trying to put him away here. 1-2 on the way. Launched high in the sky. Right field, Harding calls his teammates off. 2 down. And the batter will be Souvenir.
First baseman,
Dylan walked his first at bat today. Went 1 for 5 against Lynchburg yesterday. He's 10 for 24 in the tournament. He certainly had a good visit to Cedar Rapids.
He lays off 1-0. Runner goes, throw down is in time. Punch him out at second. Browning erased, so are the Blue Jays. In the top half of inning number 2, Lynchburg remains in front 2-1.
please stand to be recognized.
I am absolutely speechless. Absolutely speechless. Lynchburg, that's got to be Dell, right?
Dell the Hornet.
Dell the Hornet has made his way to Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
We asked for him. He's here. Lynchburg playing for the national championship. For the first time, Dell recognized the moment. And after all these years of cajoling that we want mascots to come, finally our prayers have been answered. And Dell the Hornet has arrived in Cedar Rapids.
Sincere thanks to all the folks in Lynchburg for making it happen, to get Dell here. That is awesome sauce.
Yep, all the years that seagull stiffness.
You're on the clock. Oh, my gosh. I'm speechless.
It's great to see you, Dell.
That is fantastic. Dell the Hornet has arrived here in Cedar Rapids. Jackson Harding at the plate. Little tapper foul.
Dell's got to be happy to, look out there and see his club up 2-1.
He's down there hanging with the party boys.
I think some of the extras.
Yes, it's.
We're on the squad that we're not on the tournament roster, and they've certainly made the best of their visit to Iowa.
Comebacker up the middle. Leadoff man aboard as Harding smokes one into center field.
All those years, Sammy the Seagull turned his back on us. Wouldn't fly out here, but Dell Hornet, he's here.
Sammy's from Salisbury.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the fun started. That was the running joke here at the tournament. Here's Holden Fiedler, the catcher. Yeah, the guys below that sit behind home plate, again, the rosters have to be limited for the tournament, so they have helped their fellow Hornets. Been very spirited at the tournament. They got the face paint going, the body paint, the spray can on the hair.
They've been vocal.
Yeah.
Brought some energy to the building.
And now they're eating their teammates' lunch, apparently. And they were thrilled that Dell was here. They're snapping selfies and pictures down there. I mean, made their day.
Dell's a media darling. You see all the photographers came over to take Dell's picture?
Yeah, the boys down there behind home plate, they stopped eating lunch. They're distributing sandwiches, and they stopped as soon as Dell made his way into their throng. Frank throws high, not in time. Extra base taken by Harding. Again, can't get a clean handle on it, and these Hornets are opportunistic.
Yeah, that's good base running, period. I mean, Harding anticipates, gets a good secondary lead, and beats the throw. He's in scoring position with nobody out for Lynchburg.
Fiedler sitting 2-2. Fouled back.
Fiedler 0 for 3 yesterday against Johns Hopkins, 4 for 14 in the tournament. Harding's driven in 25 runs in the year when he hit .313.
Undercut that one. Stays alive here at 2-2. Check of the runner. Liner over the head of Whitney. Harding will stay put at third base. Runners at the corners. Nobody out to kickstart the second.
And pretty good base running awareness by Harding to make sure that ball got over Whitney's head and into the outfield before he'd advance. And thus he's held up at third. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Third hit for Lynchburg against Romano.
Number 9 hitter Carson Atkins. Strike one.
Atkins was 0 for 3 yesterday, but walked and then stole 2 bases and came in to score when Frank threw the ball into right field trying to throw him out at third. That was a big insurance run, as it turned out, in that 5-2 win. It was the last run Lynchburg scored.
Hitch. Couldn't pull the trigger, 0-2.
Atkins a pretty darn good center fielder. .6'4", 190-pound graduate student from Charlottesville.
It's snuff by Sam Frank.
Atkins 0 for 3 yesterday and has scuffled at the plate here. Just 1 for 13. RBI opportunity here, though. The infield a double play depth for Johns Hopkins.
There's a tapper to third. Stoyer looks the runner back. Get the out at first. Second and third now with one away as we head back to the top of the lineup card. And Garcia started the party in the first. Doubled over the head of the right fielder.
Again, when you score 10 runs a game, you can afford to play the infield back in the second inning. Figure your offense is going to come alive, so they'll give up the run. Garcia's job to keep the ball in play.
Time is called. And someone in the dugout said something to home plate umpire Lou Kammermeyer, and they're getting a detention slip.
Didn't like the 1-0 call, apparently.
So back to baseball. Garcia. Liner up the middle. Whitney can't snag it. It'll plate a run. Makes it 3-1.
Brandon Garcia goes up the middle. Nice piece of hitting. Second hit today. He's now 7 for 15 in the tournament. And Lynchburg adds to their lead. It's 3-1.
Ben Jones' turn. Struck out against Romano his first AB. Massive cut. Frustrated is Jones.
Romano muscled up through an 89 mile an hour pitch up in his eyes, too.
From that one back to the fishnet. 0-2. Garcia at first, Fiedler over at third. Jones down on strikes. 2 away. Still issues for Romano and the Blue Jays as Neves steps in.
Neves a 2-time All-American. Leads the team in homers with 8. In RBIs with 59. He's knocked in 4 here.
There goes Garcia. No throw by Frank, and now down to third. It gets away, but thankfully for the Jays, Whitney was backing it up.
I think they would have had the base runner at third, but Frank spiked the throw in front of the third baseman.
So now second and third, if Neves can connect, might up the ante here by plating a pair. A strike, 1-1.
Good pitch, locked Neves up. He's looking for a fastball, and he got an off speed at 76 miles an hour.
Again, Frank busy behind the dish. Neves, besides the other offensive categories, he leads the club, and he also leads him in walks and leads the nation in walks as well. Two and two. So he's got the patience, but he's also got the pop.
He's only walked once here.
Yeah. Bounce it to Whitney. Cuts across to get the out and retire the side. But another run plated by the Hornets in their half of the second inning. We go to the third. It's a 3-1 count now in Cedar Rapids.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing.
Back here in Iowa, 3-1 Lynchburg with a lead here in Game 2 after they took Game 1 yesterday.
Leading off the top of the third for Johns Hopkins.
One more dub. It's dog pile time for the Hornets. A lot of baseball left. Top of 3, Dylan Souvenir gets a reset at the plate after Browning was thrown out, trying to steal on the bases to end the second. Bounced away from Fiedler, 1-1. Stoyer will be next, and then Frank, the catcher.
Souvenir's a sophomore from Boulder, Colorado.
Goes to left field, long run into the corner, and up against the wall. Neves can't come up with it. Ball kept tailing away from Neves. Souvenir in with a double.
Wind's not a factor today.
No.
But the nice inside-out swing by Souvenir sends it to corner, and ball good. Keep carrying. Only 3:15 down the line. I thought that had a chance to get out. But it's a double, and that is the first hit of the day for Johns Hopkins.
And now Stoyer will step in. First pitch hunting. Left field Neves makes the grab. So one away for Frank, the catcher.
The catcher, number 16, Sam Frank.
Frank drove in a run with a fielder's choice grounder in the first. Johns Hopkins scored a run there without the benefit of a hit.
Little soft toss back to the second base neighborhood. Fouled that one out of play.
And this team can mash. They hit 340 collectively as a team this year, averages 10 runs per game. Set an NCAA Division III record for home runs with 110. They've been quieted by Lynchburg the last 2 days, however. And for all their height, they have not hit a home run here in 6 days. This is a much bigger ballpark than Johns Hopkins plays in Baltimore.
Count is even on Frank. He had a rip. Myers will foul. Souvenir out at second base. Pond to look back, the 1-2.
Pond silence of big bats of East Texas Baptist with a slider. His complete game victory on Saturday. I think he's out.
They're saying he's out.
I'm going to say, Frank thought he got hit by the pitch.
He thought he got hit. Home plate umpire saying no. Strike 3. Called third strike, and Frank can't believe it.
But the plate umpire was demonstrative that you can see he doesn't hesitate. And Bob Babb will get the explanation now for why his hitter was called out. I think he's saying Frank leaned into the pitch.
It's Lou Kammermeyer behind the plate.
He immediately called him out, though.
So 2 away. Here's Trip Myers. Myers struck out in the first.
Myers had a pair of hits yesterday. Was Pond's first strikeout victim in the first inning.
Sliced through that one.
Trips 7 for 21 in the tournament.
Runner out at second base for Hopkins. They trail by a pair. This one, fair ball, tucked it into right field. That will bring Souvenir home. 3-2 ball game.
Clutch hit there for Myers. And, Johns Hopkins says we're not going to go away. Second RBI of the tournament for Trip Myers. 33rd RBI of the year. Myers played high school ball under Larry Sheets, the former big leaguer.
Here's Caleb Sear with 2 down. Sear walked back in the first. Pond, another throw over. Liner foul. In the Blue Jays notes, it says, just in case the Blue Jays drop a game, which they did yesterday. They're 39-17 in elimination games since 07. 25-12 in the NCAA tournament. 4-4 in the D3 World Series. For you numbers folks.
They need to find a way to win to play this afternoon for the national championship.
Sear still waiting, 0-1. 1-1, laid off.
Neither of these teams has ever won a national championship, so it will be historic for one of them. East Connecticut won the crown a year ago. Only 3 schools have ever repeated in D3. It's tough to win. I guess that underlines.
Yeah.
Dating back to '76, Cal State Stanislaus won the championship. They won the next year, and as you pointed out yesterday, Bob Babb is a participant in the NCAA tournament that year.
The very first year.
Yeah. Anyway, Glassboro State, which is now known as Rowan, won back-to-back championships in '78 and '79, and nobody's done it since, except Marietta, who won consecutive titles in 2011 and 2012. So it is tough to repeat, and these schools have found out it's tough to win one.
Sears still battling 1-2 against Pond. And the battle is over. Down on strikes. Hopkins gets a run to get closer again, but Lynchburg remains in front 3-2.
Division III is the largest division within the NCAA. Nearly 200,000 student athletes participate in 440 institutions. Division III makes up 40% of NCAA membership schools. Learn more about Division III at ncaa.org/D3. Gain an inside look and behind-the-scenes access to your favorite Division III student athletes, championships, and sports.
Strike one to Sean Pokerock, the designated hitter. Bottom of third underway. Hornets lead it 3-2. Hyatt and Collins to follow as Romano gets ahead 0-2.
Lynchburg's had the leadoff man on in each of the first 2 innings against Romano.
This one bounces off the back of the mound. Whitney, though, stays with it to make the play, and there's one away. The batter will be Hyatt. Hyatt hit one back to Romano in his first AB. Mentioned Bob Babb played in the first Division III tournament. He was a player with Hopkins. He was a junior. And the team he faced was Lynchburg. This one gets down for a base hit for Hyatt. Single with one away here in the third.
And again, apparently that game was not at the College World Series because, as we said, it's the first time these teams have made it to the College World Series. That was earlier in the NCAA regional aspect of the tournament.
It was.
5th hit of the day for Lynchburg off Romano. Again, Hyatt swung a big bat here.
Kevin Collins, the strike. And then just to button that up, so Bob Babb finishes as a player. He's a teacher and a high school baseball coach. 3 years after he was done playing at Hopkins, he became the head coach. So all told, this is his 50th year of Hopkins baseball as either a player or the head coach. Amazing. It's Bob Babb Field back home, after all. 1-1 to Collins. Gav lays off 2-1.
Lucas Jones, also an alum. Coach of the Hornets, was a pretty good player. ODAC Player of the Year when he was playing at Lynchburg, All-State Player of the Year, Lynchburg Male Athlete of the Year, 2005.
The middle double play ball, and they spin it. Side retired. Nothing across for Lynchburg. After 3, the Hornets remain in front 3-2.
The NCAA is instrumental in Team USA's success at the summer game. Over 75% of Team USA's athletes competed collegiately, representing over 150 U.S. colleges and universities across the division and 1 to Lynchburg. Nearly a third of Team USA at the Winter Games were NCAA student athletes, and now they compete to bring home medals for our nation. The college athlete experience, a building block for success.
It's the 4th inning here in Cedar Rapids. 3-2, Lynchburg in front of Johns Hopkins. Jimmy Stevens takes ball 1. Whitney to follow, and then Browning. 7, 8, and 9 for the Blue Jays.
Johns Johns Hopkins 2 runs, 2 hits and an error. Lynchburg 3 runs, 5 hits and an error.
Speed from Pond, 1 and 2.
Pond has thrown 56 pitches to Dow. Had control troubles early. And that came back to haunt him in the first inning run. He hit Cooper and walked 2 other batters that inning. Since then, he's hit a batter, but he's located the ball much better. He struck out 3. Excuse me, struck out 4.
Add to it. Stevens down on strikes.
Shortstop number 15, Dylan Whitney.
There's Dylan Whitney, the shortstop. Ball skips away from Fiedler. Outfield for Whitney, shallow, center and right. A little more room and left.
Top 6 guys in the Johns Hopkins lineup all hit .328 or better. Stevens, Whitney under the 300 mark, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But without Alex Shane in the lineup because of injury, this lineup is not as long. If you get through the top 6, the pitcher got a chance against the bottom 3 in the order.
That's a base hit for Whitney. 1 out single here in the 4th brings up Browning, the number 9 hitter.
And Whitney's had a good tournament, despite what I just said. Whitney has swung the bat well here. 272 in the year, the lowest batting average among regulars. But in Cedar Rapids, he's now 9 for 17.
In there for a strike. To short, Garcia charges. Out at second, out at first, double play, out of the inning. Lead stays 3-2.
Lynchburg leads the country in double plays. Showed it why right there. It's a slow hit ball, but they still get 2 as Garcia gives Jones a good feed and the relay ends the inning.
A single thread is unique. Like each of us, full of purpose and potential. A strand designed to connect, strengthen, and unite.
Really Chamber of Commerce Day here in Cedar Rapids. Outstanding weather for this tournament. We had one day where rain was an issue and they shifted the start time to let Mother Nature do her thing, and then we played dry after that, but it has been real nice here in Iowa for these ball players. Harding leads it off for Lynchburg, then Fiedler and Atkins. 7, 8, and 9 for the Hornets, who lead it 3-2.
Last year we're in Cedar Rapids. This tournament goes to Eastlake, Ohio, about 18 miles from downtown Cleveland for next year's event. This is our 4th visit to Cedar Rapids, and they've been very accommodating. Quite an undertaking to put this on. The American Rivers Conference is the host, along with the Cedar Rapids Colonels, the Minnesota Twins affiliate in the Midwest League that are the regular occupants of this ballpark. But between the 2 of them, they do a lot of work. It's quite an undertaking.
To left, Cooper comes in and makes the catch, 1 away. Yeah, prior to this tournament, the American Rivers Conference hosts its own baseball tournament here at PG Cares Field. Fiedler, the batter.
But that's not, I mean, that's certainly a lot of work, but you got to provide hotels and set up all sorts of lodging for NCAA officials and lots of behind-the-scenes stuff if you're going to run a national tournament. They've done it for the last 4 years, so our hats off to the American Rivers Conference and the Colonels.
It's ahead of the Lynchburg catcher, 0-2 does Romano.
And they've really done a nice job with the weather, I agree with you.
Yeah, this has been outstanding. First couple days were in the 90s, but it felt good. It was great ball playing weather. And then temperatures have slowly dropped. I mean, this is perfection, 74.
And so is the humidity.
Oh, yeah. 2-2 to Fiedler.
Romano's thrown 64 pitches up till now.
Inside on Fiedler and got him. 2 away. Strikeout number 3 for Romano. And now Carson Atkins, the center fielder.
Romano looking for his first clean inning.
Strike 1.
He's allowed 5 hits. Hit a batter and threw a costly wild pitch.
Undercut that one, 0-2. And he got him. Back-to-back Ks by Romano. Clean inning Bill mentioned came to fruition. We go to the 5th inning. Lynchburg 3, Johns Hopkins 2.
The NCAA sponsors 90 national championships each year, none of which can happen without officials. There is an urgent need for sports officials across the country as they are retiring 4 times faster than they are coming in, leaving shortages at all levels of sport. The NCAA recognizes the importance of officiating in the student-athlete experience and is dedicated to the recruitment and retention of new officials. For all sports, say yes to officiating.
Noon here in Iowa. Game 2 in the best of 3. 5-2. Hornets won yesterday, taking game 1. They want to take game 2. Pose for pictures with the hardware. Claim the national championship. Johns Hopkins would like to force the issue and force a game 3. On the appeal, a strike to Cooper here in the 5th.
Third time through the order for the Blue Jays against Pond. Let's see how they handle this guy who's pitched very well in his 2 appearances in Iowa. And using the same script he showed Saturday against East Texas Baptist University. He allowed 1 hit after the first inning.
Two and 1 to Coop. Launches this one to left. And he has now left the yard. Matthew Cooper ties it up.
Well, Cooper's the leader in Division III in home runs. He hadn't hit one. His team hadn't hit one here in Iowa. But, again, he's always swinging for the downs. We've learned that. And he got to pitch up, and Cooper made him pay for it by hooking it down the left field line. We got a tie game. That's what Cooper's swing is like. He never shortens up. He just swings out the back leg, and that was way out of here to tie the game. 25th home run of the year for Matthew Cooper, the All-American.
It landed in one of the neighbor's tool sheds. And you saw Neves, the left fielder. He turned around and then he watched it. Souvenir. It'll drop. Dillon on his horse to second base with his second double of the day. Here come the Jays.
I like to talk about how hitting is contagious. And maybe we're seeing it here in the 5th inning. Cooper in the leadoff spot leads off this inning with a long home run. And Souvenir follows with another extra base hit, splitting the outfielders in left center.
And here's the danger, Sean Stoyard. Fiedler will have a word with his right-hander.
And it will enable the bullpen to start for Lynchburg. Their bullpen is very well rested. With all the complete games they have had, we haven't seen much of the bullpen. And they have an All-American relief pitcher in Jack Battenworth down there. We've seen him once in the tournament. He actually got rocked a little bit. We haven't seen him since that opening day performance. So everybody in that pen is rested if Lynchburg needs to go that way.
So Stoyer ready. Scoots out of the way, ball 1.
Lynchburg has quieted Stoyer's bat the last 2 days. He's 0 for 5 against the Hornets. He was sizzling coming into this best-of-3 series, went 8 for 19 with 13 RBIs leading up this series.
He tags one deep to left. Neves dropped it. Jays at the corners. Going to be an E7. Neves got there, but he just flat out dropped the baseball.
Yeah, he did the hard part. He got there and then almost nonchalant it fell out of his glove. It'll be another error on Lynchburg. There's second. There's runners on the corners. Nobody out.
Here's Sam Frank, the catcher.
Lynchburg showing confidence in their offense, playing the infield back. They love a double play ball, will concede the run.
That pitch tailing away from Frank.
Curtis Young trying to stay out the big inning with this defensive strategy.
Went after the high stuff. Just got a piece. Pond ahead. 0-2.
Pond has struck out 5, including Frank once.
Pushed it foul. Myers is on deck. Pond, the 0-2.
Trying to get him to chase.
Souvenir down at third. Stoyer over at first base for the Blue Jays. Frank, a little pop-up over his own dugout. So we'll do it again.
Frank's a senior from Houston. For 22 with the bat in the tournament.
Stays alive. Hopkins hopscotching on the scoreboard. 1 in the first, nothing in the second. 1 in the third, nothing in the fourth. 1 in the fifth here. Looking for more. They call the balk. That will score a run and give the Jays the lead. Entire dugout yelled it. Umpiring crew all agreed. And the Jays fans, something to holler about. Their team in front. Frank continuing the battle. First time Johns Hopkins has led in this ball game.
First time they've led in the series.
Good point. Down on strikes. Pond finally retired Frank. One away here in the fifth. Myers, who singled last time, will step in. Quick word first. On the mound with Pond and Fiedler. The pitching has been so good here for Lynchburg. Everyone crediting associate head coach Travis Beasley, Michael Solbach. They are the two gentlemen. They go to the pitching lab, the gurus, if you will. They break down video. They talk with the batteries before each game. They go over situations. And Lucas Jones defers to those two guys and says, that's their deal. I just jump in and interject from time to time, but they are so good at it. He just lets them do their thing. Trip Myers with Stoyer out at second base. Lifts this one to left center. Neves comes in and catches for out number 2. And next up it'll be Caleb Sear. Sear has walked and struck out today. Ball outside to Sear.
Pond has been very poised out there. Well, I shouldn't say it. He balked in a run, but he played through the air with his left fielder. But by and large, he's stayed in command and in control on the mound.
Two 2-0 on Sear.
Stoyer knows he's out there. Not much of a base stealing threat, though. He's only stolen 2 bases all year.
Back to work on Sear. 2-0. Pitched. Appeal. Did not go around. 3-0. Pond tosses a strike. So 3-1 on the designated hitter. Stoyer with his lead at second. And it's ball 4 to Sear. 2 aboard with 2 down. On the free pass, Inning continues. Jimmy Stevens will be the batter.
Pond has had Stevens' number. Struck him out twice.
Ball one to Jimmy.
Stevens out of New Albany, Ohio. He's 3 for 21 in the tournament.
Two runs in for the Blue Jays. All started with the Matthew Cooper home run. Stevens waits for the 1-1. To right field, Harding giving chase. It bounces in the corner. This will plate a pair. Jimmy liked that pitch. Stevens delivers to make it 6-3.
Yep. Exciting. Stevens scuffles with the bat. They played him shallow in right field, and Stevens made it pay for it. Lifting that one into the corner and all the way to the fence. With 2 out, the runners were off with a crack at the bat. Sawyer, who reached on the costly air, scores from second. Sear comes around from first. That's going to be all for Pond, who's going to leave down 3 runs.
We want the right-hander. He'll come in with Lynchburg now trailing 6-3. We'll step aside here in Cedar Rapids, reset things on the mound when we return. Lynchburg native and freshman right-hander Matt Cassidy takes over here in the 5th inning.
Cassidy, 6'2", 190 pounds. This is his 8th appearance on the year. Has no record. Got a 4.0 ERA from 9 innings of work. He's allowed 10 hits, 4 earned runs. He's walked 7, struck out 8. Quite a thrill for the hometown kid to get to pitch in a day when the national championship is going to be determined by Lynchburg or Johns Hopkins. And right now, Johns Hopkins has rallied to take the lead in a game they must win.
Cassidy in relief of Pond. 4 runs in here so far in the top of the 5th for Johns Hopkins.
Not sure what's going on here. The crew chief, the second base umpire in this crew, the home plate umpire conferred with NCAA officials during the pitching change. And now they're talking with the Johns Hopkins people. I really don't know what this is about. But the second base umpire and crew chief returns to his position. So whatever the issue was, it appears to be resolved.
It might be. They're discussing with some of the.
They might have asked that somebody be removed from the stadium.
Yeah, some of the fans over the Jays dugout. So anyway, NCAA officials are on the case. Back to baseball. Whitney with a 1-0 count, and Stevens, who got the job done, is out at second base. Cassidy is first strike, 1-1. admit, but missed the mark. 2-1. That's a strike. 2-2. Whitney tried to pull it, checked, didn't matter.
Cassidy with a slider that locked up the number 8 hitter in the lineup.
Little slicer. It'll fall for a base hit, and another run will tally for the Jays.
And he just stuck his bat out. They complained about the Adam ball yesterday. They'll take that bloop single there with 2 out, which brings in a key run. And his first RBI today, his 3rd of the tournament, and the big inning continues for the Blue Jays.
9th man to bat here in the 5th. Sam Browning. 5-run frame so far. Big crooked number that Bob Babb talked about. So there are times that we can just look really bad at the plate, and then we'll put a crooked number up on the board. Ball 1 to Browning. Took a rip, did Sam. Whitney, not much of a lead over at first base. Sam Browning. 1-1. Make it 1-2.
Not surprisingly, for a team that led the country in home runs, Johns Hopkins doesn't run much.
He'll tap her back to Cassidy. He'll make the play. Side retired. But the Blue Jays get a ding-dong, take advantage of an error and a balk, and put up a 5 spot in the top half of inning number 5.
D3 aims to ensure it is safe for, inclusive of, and welcoming to the LGBTQ community and its allies. To assist with this, the Division III LGBTQ Working Group.
Well, a dramatic shift on the scoreboard here in Cedar Rapids. Hopkins in front now, 7-3. Bottom 5, top of the order for the Hornets. Brandon Garcia, ball 1. Jones to follow in the knees. Strike evens it at 1-1.
A lot of pitching with a lead for the first time in the tournament, I do believe.
Tampa rolls foul. Souvenir, little kick save. stares in. Brings the 1-2. Tried to sneak it in there. Didn't get the call. 2-2. This one a squibber up the end of the bat.
Romano's the second-team All-American. Started his career, pitched 4 years at Quinnipiac, where he went 7-7. As a graduate student, he's had a big year with Johns Hopkins.
Fair ball that rolled right into the mid of Souvenir, one away. And now Ben Jones.
Thanks to the double play, which ended the third, he's now retired 6 in a row. And he struck out Jones twice.
In the dirt, 1-0. Jones today 0 for 2, a pair of Ks on the scorecard. Two and 0. Strike on the outside, 2-1.
Given the 4-run lead, Romano, a veteran guy, knows he's got to throw strikes. He's had good control all year.
Falls behind 3-1.
He's only walked 16 batters all season. And now 93 innings of work.
He's not walked the batter today. Souvenir flip to Romano covering. Didn't panic. 2 away. And now Needs. Reached on an error in the first, came around to score on a wild pitch.
Big right-hander who works from the stretch seems to be in a groove we haven't seen him in the whole tournament. This record of your running game and all the faulty defense behind him on opening day never allowed Romano to get in sync like this.
Romano took a couple steps in. He kind of smiled. He was hoping he'd get that call, 1-1. Head of Needs here, 1-2. Got him. Off speed. Fifth punch out of the day for Romano. After 5. Hopkins 7. Lynchburg 3. Top of 6 here in game 2 between Lynchburg and Johns Hopkins. There is Matthew Cooper going yard for the first time here in Cedar Rapids.
Division III home run king ignited a 5-run rally, and he's going to swing the bat again here to start this inning.
Cassidy knocked that home run off of Pond, who got knocked out in that 5th inning.
All 5 runs last inning were, I shouldn't say all of them, the Cooper run was earned. The other 4 were unearned.
Another ginormous cut by Cooper.
But Johns Hopkins will take all 5. Thank you.
Two and one. Went for it again. Souvenirs next, and then Stoyer. Cassidy, the freshman. Counter on the shoot taps. Count is full.
He gets it up there pretty good, 87 miles an hour that last pitch. Got a good live arm.
Cooper, the 3-2, ball 4. Leadoff man aboard for Hopkins. Here in the 6th.
First baseman number 22, Dylan Souvenir.
Now Dylan Souvenir. Been on all 3 times today. Walked in the 1st and then doubles in the 3rd and the 5th. Went after that first pitch and couldn't barrel it up.
He has had more hits than any other Blue Jay, 12 in the tournament. Well, for 20 to be exact, and that isn't too bad.
Yeah, feasting. Cassidy ahead of them, 0-2. Stoyer's on deck. Big bats for the Jays here in inning number 6. Bouncing ball to first. Hyatt will go to second. The lead runner there, 1 away.
Just play by Hyatt to make sure they get 1. Slow hit ball, they weren't going to turn a double play.
Sean Stoyer.
Souvenir has been the hottest hitter in the number of hits. This has been the chief run producer, Stoyer, who's knocked in 14 runs. Nobody else has knocked in more than 4 in the tournament for Johns Hopkins.
Liner. Double play. Right at Jones. Toss to Hyatt. Double up Souvenir. Side retired. Nothing across for the Jays in their half of inning number 6. Well, there is some issue going on in the Blue Jays dugout down there. And we've seen the umpires address something. We thought it was some of the Blue Jays extra players that were over the dugout, but now they're looking in the dugout. Bob Babb came over. We thought at first he might be trying to challenge the last out call, but instead he walked over with the home plate umpire, Lou Kammermeyer, and the crew chief, Rudy Firmbach. They're over there now, and
NCAA officials have joined the conference. I haven't been able to figure out what's going on now. This has gone for about an inning and a half at the conclusion of every inning, and something bothers the umpires, to be sure.
They're looking in the, you can see, looking in the dugout, and You've got officials there over the dugout in the stands, and they're all involved in this issue, whatever it may be.
But it's delayed the start of this inning. The issue when it first came up was addressed between innings about 10 minutes ago. And I really am at a loss. There are 4 extra players behind the dugout wearing blue caps that are non-rostered Johns Hopkins players. I think they were the subject or people that the umpires were concerned about the last time they visited there, as Bob has told you. Now it seems the focus has changed into the dugout, and
the guys are getting screen time on the scoreboard, so they haven't been ejected. But as you can see, the players and the umpires, the officials, everyone's looking into the dugout, perhaps down the runway, the corridor where it leads to the clubhouse area. Blue Jays defense took the field and started to warm up, and then they're in pause mode. Now we're being told it is apparently a blood issue.
Perhaps Cooper in diving back into first base.
Possible bloody nose, which would then mean the training staff is trying to get it to stop. Turn the faucet off.
Well, delayed the start of the 6th inning for Lynchburg, who needs 4 runs to tie. It's also going to give Bob Babb an opportunity to activate his bullpen. There's somebody going to go throw there behind Romano, who is yet to come out to take his warm-up pitches for the 6th inning. Maybe it's Romano who's got a bloody nose. That would be my guess, because Cooper's in left field. I was going to guess that he injured himself or drew blood sliding back into first on the end of the double play. But the fact that Romano is not out warming up, and the fact that
I count all the outfielders with you, Bill, and the infielders. Frank, this guy's catcher's gear on, so he's waiting, so it might be Romano. We're in a blood delay. First time I've ever said that.
Well, you see this in basketball where trainers attend to guys that get cuts or whatever.
So you see one of the pitchers who's just warming up with the, I call it the springy thing. And again, we're being told that there's an issue with some blood with one of the Hopkins players.
And we have, it's got an explanation from the NCAA folks. They have 10 minutes to address this. This has been talked about before. Somebody develops an issue like this, the team has 10 minutes to take care of that issue. So the clock is running on the trainers basically to make sure that he's healthy enough to return to action. And stop the bleeding is, for lack of a better term.
And yeah, our guess, after looking around, it's Romano, and you see him holding the bridge of his nose, and now he's going back into the dugout.
Again, Don Unroth, chief umpire, came up and was nice enough to explain what's going on, and he says they have 10 minutes to address the issue. The earlier issue involving the players behind the dugout had to do with whether they could videotape the game. Apparently, again, there are rules where you can shoot video and you can't, and one of the players was doing so on the phone. As you can see, as a precaution, the bullpen has been activated for Johns Hopkins.
It's Ben Keever.
And Keever we have seen in this tournament already.
Oh, that would be a weird blow, no pun intended, if you lost Romano because they can't get this done in 10 minutes.
Well, we got to be getting close to that 10-minute window right now. So Keever warming in case he has to come in.
Well, we will take a break. Come back to Cedar Rapids. 7-3 our score. Well, they didn't have to pull the tarp. It wasn't that bad, but Gabe Romano has finally been patched up. The blood issue has been addressed, and Romano now going through his warm-up tosses here before we can get back to work in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, you're happy that the kid's healthy. I mean, obviously he had a bloody nose. They couldn't stop the bleeding, literally, and he was able to return to the ball game, and that took up, I would think, about all 10 minutes and was allocated for a situation like this. But Romano's back in the mound. He's warmed up. He'll now take on Lynchburg, who has had trouble with Romano since the 3rd inning. Hyatt had a hit with 1 out in the 3rd, but he was erased in a double play, and Romano's put up 2 clean innings since.
Polkarock rolls at the 2nd. Stevens gets there and makes a nice play.
Talked about leaky defense much of this tournament for Johns Hopkins. Well, Stevens there makes a very nice play. Get to play on the outfield grass here in college ball, and he took advantage of that. Started the play, foot back on the grass, showed his range, slid, came up with the ball and threw out Polkarock to get the leading lady here in the 6th inning.
Here's Eric Haidt. Singled his last time up in the 3rd. Takes strike 1.
And again, he's the only base runner against Romano since the 2nd inning.
Couldn't hold it. 0-2.
Ben Keever, by the way, who started throwing, well, Romano's bloody nose was being addressed, has continued throwing in the bullpen for Johns Hopkins.
On the check. They say Haidt checked in time. So 1-2. Squibber foul.
Lynchburg bullpen is also busy right now, so maybe Cassidy's day is done.
Romano, the 1-2, strike 3 called. Froze Haidt, 2 down.
Got him with the hook, and Hyatt had no chance.
Sixth punch out of the afternoon for Romano. 2 away for Gavin Collins. Ball 1 missing. To right. Browning has it.
I'd say Romano's been bloody good.
Perfect way to end the bottom of the 6th inning with Hopkins up 7-3.
off the top of the seventh inning for Johns Hopkins is the catcher number 16, Sam Frank.
We move on to the seventh inning here in Game 2 in the best of 3 for the national championship in Division III. Hopkins leading 7-3 in a game they've got to have to force that Game 3. Sam Frank, the batter, swing and a miss. Frank today, nothing in 3 trips so far. Myers will follow, and then Sear, the designated hitter. Cassidy, the freshman, the 0-2. Ball found the bat. Frank couldn't get out of the way.
He is right up on the plate.
Waiting for the 1-2 pitch. Sam always has long at bats here at the tournament. Fouls a lot of baseballs off.
Double barrel action. Lynchburg bullpen behind Cassidy.
As the AB continues.
Frank is a baseball version of a gym rat. He works with the Houston Astros. Apparently when he's not playing ball, he's a groundskeeper at Rice University.
Down on strikes for the 3rd time today is Frank. 1 away in the 7th.
The center fielder number 30, Trip Myers.
There's Myers, who's 1 for 3. That one was an RBI single back in the 3rd. Up in the air, back behind shortstop Garcia, calling everybody off to make the catch. 2 down, Sear, the designated hitter, is next.
Cassidy now has thrown 2 innings of scoreless relief. Allowed a hit and a walk.
One and one to Caleb. Sear majoring in electrical engineering with a minor in computer science. Down on strikes. Cassidy coming in, getting the job done here in the last 2 frames. Nothing across for Hopkins as we stretch him out in Cedar Rapids. 7-3 the score.
seventh inning for Lynchburg, right fielder number 2, Jackson Harding.
They're done stretching them out. Back to baseball. Bottom of 7, Lynchburg trailing by 4. And Gabe Romano all patched up. No delay getting out there for this inning. The Hopkins sports personnel who are here before the game said with their ace on the hill, they'll ride him until his wheels fall off. And a gotta have it game. Fouled back by Jackson Harding, who leads off the 7th. Fiedler to follow, and then Atkins.
If there is a third game, and that would occur if this lead holds up, it would start 45 minutes after the conclusion of this game. And it will be interesting to see what the respective coaches do for starting pitching. Matt Savadoff was very impressive in winning a must-win game for Johns Hopkins on Monday, but he threw 147 pitches in doing so. And he's their number 3 starter.
Stevens handles that ground ball for out number 1.
On the other side, Wesley Arrington was also very impressive in winning a must-win game for Lynchburg. Can he come back on short rest?
Here's Holden Fiedler. Strike 1 to the Hornets catcher. Just low, 1-1. That one skipped by the catcher, Frank.
But certainly both coaches had time last night to come up with a plan for how they want to pitch to. And Romano's doing his part for Johns Hopkins.
It's a short, charging Whitney. Can't come up with it. So Fiedler will reach. Good charge, but an E6. Hopkins shortstop.
No one has had more trouble in the field than that kid. It's his 6th there in the tournament.
Let's see if it opens the door here for the Hornets. Number 9 hitter Carson Atkins takes the strike.
The air in left field certainly opened the floodgates for Johns Hopkins in a 5-run inning. Fiedler down at first, the first base runner since the 3rd inning for Lynchburg.
Romano ahead of the number 9 hitter Atkins, 0-2. Pretty good pitch. Just outside, says home plate umpire Lou Kammermeyer. Pitch number 104 coming from Romano. And a Whitney again. This time he fires a bullet to first, 2 away.
And make sure and get 1 out. Chose not to go for the force. I think he wanted to secure the baseball and get a good grip on it before making the throw. And when you're ahead by 4 with now, or at the time, 8 outs to go, you want to make sure and get 1 of those outs. He does so, and it's the top of the order in Garcia for Lynchburg.
Brandon 2 for 3 on the afternoon in that leadoff spot. Whitney again. Another chance. Success. Side retired. 7 innings in the book here in Iowa. 7-3, Hopkins over Lynchburg. It's getting late here in game number 2 between Lynchburg and Johns Hopkins. Hornets won yesterday, took game 1 5-2. 7-3 Hopkins leads here in the 8th inning. If everything stands pat, we go to a 3rd and deciding contest. Winner take all game here in Cedar Rapids. Stevens will lead it off, then Whitney and Browning. 7, 8, and 9 for the Blue Jays, who are +4 on the scoreboard. Stevens had the big knock in that 5-run 5th. Drove in a pair with a double. Two 2-0 to Jimmy. Strike. This Blue Jays infield, as noted by Bob Babb the other day, is still relatively young. Stevens, a junior. Souvenir, a sophomore. Whitney, also a sophomore. On the appeal, you say Stevens went around, and that's a strikeout, and that's 1 away. And Sean Stoyer is also a sophomore, so you've got 3 sophomores and a junior on the infield. Here's Dylan Whitney. Bob Babbitt, he addressed that. It wasn't excusing all the errors, but said it's part of the youth of the infield. They're going to make mistakes. Fouled off by Dillon. Whitney committed that error in the last inning, and then the ball kept finding him, but it's clean after that. Rolling this baseball past his counterpart Garcia for a base hit. So Whitney aboard with 1 down.
3rd hit of the day for Dylan Whitney.
We're going to have a pinch hitter for Browning in the number 9 slot.
Number 26,
Charlie Monterosa. We saw Charlie on the mound. Did we not, Bill?
You are correct, sir.
He's also an infielder, though, and obviously can swing the stick.
He threw 4 innings and gave up 4 runs the other day. Took the loss, actually. Game against East Texas Baptist. Or against Baldwin Wallace, I'm sorry.
Want to know to Char. Yeah, infielder and a pitcher. Freshman from McLean, Virginia. Trying to get some extra pop here with a runner on before Cooper steps in. Big cut.
Monterosa at the plate is 13 for 45 this year. He did not swing the bat the other night when he pitched. 5 doubles and a homer among his 13 hits.
Sitting 1-1 here, and Cassidy keeping an eye on Whitney.
driven in 12 runs, so you know Bob Babb's hoping he runs into one here and come up with a long ball. Would certainly make Romano's job easier for the last 6 outs.
Staying away there, 2-1. Cassidy. Hit Monterosa. So the pinch hitter gets first base. And here comes Matthew Cooper again with 2 men on.
They have a pinch runner down at first for Monterosa. That's Ciani? Yeah.
Yep. More than likely he plays in right field. Gives Fiedler a chance to talk with Cassidy, his pitcher.
So Jake Ciani is the pinch runner at first.
Cooper went yard in the 5th, a solo shot. Walked his last time up. That was against Cassidy, so he's seen the freshman. That one tight around the chin. Want to know to Cooper. Bombs away. It's off the wall. Cooper hit it hard, and it's going to plate a pair on a 2-run double. Didn't get all of it, but he got enough to make this a 9-3 ball game.
Well, Cooper again with that uppercut swing. Bob said without any wind, that's not going to go out. And Neves elected to throw to second as opposed to try to get the trail run as Ciani, who's off at the crack of the bat. He might have had to play at the plate if the relay had come there, but it didn't. It's academic. Give Cooper his 2nd and 3rd RBIs of the day, and he's starting to show the power of what the All-American has done most of the year. Now 70 RBIs this season for Matthew Cooper, and that'll be the end for Matthew Cassidy.
We'll take a timeout here in Cedar Rapids. Hopkins +6 now here in the top of the 8th. On the pitch now for Lynchburg. It's the freshman left-hander from Collinsville, Virginia, Trevor Barnes.
Trevor Barnes on for the 8th time this year. He's 1-0 with a 135 earned run average. It's 6 2/3 innings. Barnes has only allowed 4 hits and an earned run. He's walked 5, struck out 6 in limited work.
Souvenir to left. Caught by Neves for out number 2. And now Sean Stoyer.
Third baseman number 33, Sean Stoyer.
Stoyer, the 2nd-team All-American third baseman with an RBI opportunity, and he is taking advantage of most of those RBI opportunities in his week stay in Cedar Rapids.
Big boy swing there.
Yeah, like Cooper, he doesn't get cheated.
And Barnes brought it. Lefty lost his cap, putting everything he had into the pitch. Bouncing ball to Garcia at short. Side retired. to tack on 2 more to the Blue Jays lead. It's now 9-3, middle of 8.
Johns Hopkins scored 2 runs in the top of the 8th on 2 hits to the Leading more than 50,000 student athletes compete in NCAA championships that hold 100 sites across the country each year. The South witnessing
Getting down to the late stages here in Game 2 between Lynchburg and Johns Hopkins. Blue Jays lead it 9-3. Jones for the Hornets. Neves to follow. Polka Rock in the bottom half of inning number 8.
Romano's handled these guys pretty well today. Jones is 0 for 3, hasn't got the ball out of the infield. Neves reached on an error in 3 at-bats. And Polkarak was hit by a pitch, otherwise he doesn't have a hit either.
109 pitches now tossed by Gabe Romano.
Nobody throwing in the bullpen, though. He's had 3 complete games this year, and you kind of get the impression this is going to be his game. Still got some hop on that fastball, 88 on the last pitch.
Till the wheels fall off. And it helps to keep the wheels on. And got 6 runs of pan at the moment. Count is full on Ben Jones. Left field, Cooper near the track, in the corner, makes the catch. One away for Neves.
Lynchburg got the leadoff man on each of the first 2 innings when they scored their 3 runs. They haven't had the leadoff man on since and have been very quiet since those first 2 innings.
One to Avery. Neves pounds it foul.
Oh, a little smoke on it.
Sure did. That's where Frank set up. Tried to get him to chase 2-2. Romano. Close.
Not a good take.
Polka Rock, the DH on deck. 3-2 coming to Neves. And it's ball 4.
Well, he's the nation's leader in walks. He's got a good eye at the plate.
Yeah. Stevens, the second baseman, was hopping mad. He sprung up. And the home plate umpire to ring him up. But it's a free pass for Polka Rock now. Hit by a pitch in the first, 0 for 2 since.
Neves has only walked twice in this tournament, that being his second. But on the year, he's walked 53 times.
Yeah. One and one. Liner to second. Oh, it ate up Stevens. He's dinged up too.
Yeah, that ball had a little hair on it too. Real tough chance. Got to be a base hit, I would think.
Him on the ankle?
I'm going to say, they call this an error. My goodness, this ball is hit hard. And don't think you can fault Stevens for making that play. Going to provide a mound visit to Romano, who's now up to 121. There's no activity in the bullpen, though, even though he's thrown 121 pitches. They call that an error,
No, they call it a hit.
Oh, they should.
Yeah. Stevens, of course, had the collision with his teammate Shane, knocked him out of commission, and now the baseball is walking out. I think it clipped him on the ankle.
Walking it off out there. So a chance for Lynchburg with one out here in the 8th. They have 2 on. It's the cleanup and their best hitter at the plate, and Hyatt for this tournament, the best hitter.
Single today, 1 for 3. 1 out here in the 8th. Strike 1.
Hyatt's 5 for 12 in the tournament. Knocked in 7 runs.
Is there room for souvenir? Nope. It is a souvenir in the stands.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, been waiting the whole tournament. Of more importance, Romano ahead of him 0-2. This is pitch 124. Another one foul. Neves at second. Polka Rock at first. Hyatt. Ooh.
That was a pitcher's pitch.
Yeah. Great patience by Eric.
Yeah, I'm going to see a little courage, too, to take that pitch.
Ooh. Tapper. And a foul ball. So everyone retreats back. Romano giving everything he's got here. 5 outs to go, trying to get his team closer to the finish line, up by 6. Right field, Ciani's out there, remember. He makes the catch. That's out number 2. Ooh. Neves tagged and then slammed on the brakes and then just got back in time at second.
Ciani throws behind the runner and almost caught him. I don't know what Neves is doing.
He started and then stopped, and then you see he just gets back. So 2 away for Collins, the third baseman. Gavin today, nothing for 3.
He had a couple of 2-out run-scoring hits yesterday, though. And boy, his team needs a 2-out hit here.
Romano ahead of him, 0-1. Make it 0-2. Romano brings it. Bounce it to third. Stoyer Picks it up, throws it, and the scoop by Souvenir is in time. 8 complete in Cedar Rapids. 9-3 Johns Hopkins. This will be pitcher number 4 of the afternoon for the Lynchburg Hornets. It's the senior Travis Shoemate.
Travis is 6 feet, 180 pounds out of Alet, Virginia on the year. He's 2-0 with a 476 earned run average, on for the 10th time. And I think we've got a misprint here because it says if he's only pitched 5 2/3 innings and allowed 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which are earned. He struck out 1, walked 1. So when he gets in the game, stuff happens if those stats are right. 5 2/3 innings, he got 2 decisions. 2 wins at that. Means he's a vulture, I
guess. Yeah.
Anyway, it's nice to see you, Travis.
Welcome to the party. Senior facing Sam Frank here in the top of the 9th inning. And Frank launches it to left in the ballpark. Neves camps and catches for out number 1. Now the batter will be Myers. Tripp with a single in 4 trips.
She made the 4th pitcher used in this game 2 of the best of 3 series for Lynchburg.
Romano, that's the plan, to run him out for the bottom of the 9th inning. The Hopkins bullpen is crickets. Tripp back behind shorts, shallow left. Neves comes in again and makes the catch. 2 down. And it'll be Caleb Sear now, the designated hitter. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts today. Ball 1. Took a big cut at it.
As he's wont to do.
Yes. Yeah, strike 1 and 2. So Shoemate looking to make quick work here in the top of the 9th. Almost 2 and 2. And runs the count full. Two to Sear, and it's ball 4. 2-out walk brings up Jimmy Stevens, who has struck out 3 times today, but back in the 5th, big 2-run double.
And that is one of the big hits of the game. Had capped a 5-run 5th inning. Took care of Brandon Pond, the starter for Lynchburg.
strikeout.
They still play. Harding playing Stevens very shallow and right. And when he got the big hit in the 5th inning, he hit it to the track and cleared the bases.
Ball skips away from Fiedler, so Sear down to second. And we've seen both right fielders today playing shallow get beat. In fact, it was Garcia to start the game for Lynchburg, who banged one off the wall and right. Stevens sitting 3-0, and Jimmy hits it to left. Up, over, and out. Holy cow! Jimmy Stevens.
Well, Stevens, who only had 3 hits coming into this tournament game, 3 hits in the tournament, says hello with a long home run there. Johns Hopkins had not hit a home run in the tournament till today. Matt Cooper got one to lead off the 5th, start a 5-run rally, and Stevens with a homer to left.
His bat woke up. It's now 11-3.
It's his 10th homer of the year. Stevens with 4 RBIs today, 44 on the year. Make it 45 on the year.
Dylan Whitney with 2 away. Looking more and more likely that we will have another game this afternoon. Winner take all for the national championship. One-two to Whitney. Hung on by Fiedler. Side retired on the strikeout, but 2 more on the board for the Blue Jays. A bomb by Jimmy Stevens makes it 11-3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th.
Lynchburg, right fielder number 2, Jackson Harding.
Going to take an 8-burger here in the bottom of the 9th for the Hornets to force the issue. And Gabe Romano, you got a big old hunk of pad to work with here to get the last 3 outs.
Romano trying for his 4th complete game of the year.
Jackson Harding fouls it away.
He has now thrown 134 pitches. But still throwing hard. Kept Lynchburg off balance with the slider as well, and they've only had the 1 hit that last inning.
Yeah.
Since the 3rd.
It was 3-1 Lynchburg after 2. Johns Hopkins has scored 10 unanswered since. 3-2 to Harding.
Romano's fanned 6.
Strike 3 called. 1 away in the 9th. Seven Ks for Romano.
He's walked but 1, hit a batter. That was in the 1st inning when Lynchburg got 2.
Pinch hitter for Fiedler is Logan Webster, sophomore outfielder.
On the year, Webster's 250 hitter, 25 for 100 with a double, a triple, a homer, and 16 RBI. Webster's a sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
To second, Stevens. Whoops. Right through the wickets, as the they say. Whoever they are, that'll be an E4.
In honor of the Stanley Cup game tonight, I'll say that was after the 5-hole.
5-hole, yeah. That works too.
We've got all the cliches covered.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those, it's too easy for Stevens. He'll tell you he's got to make that play. Here's Carson Atkins, takes strike one. Up high, 1-1. Sachets out of the way. If that pitch.
Romano makes this hold up, Johns Hopkins will be playing in the winner-take-all game for the second time in their history. The last time was in 2008 when they lost game one of the best-of-3 series to Trinity. At that time, Trinity was unbeaten, 44-0, attempting to become the first team to ever go unbeaten in Division III history. Johns Hopkins beat him in the morning game, the one similar to this. And then in the winner-take-all game, Johns Hopkins took a one-run lead into the ninth on a close call and a 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded. Saw a walk and then lost the championship on another bases-loaded walk. A heartbreaking, most heartbreaking loss you'll ever see. They will get redemption, or at least get a chance at redemption, if Romano can retire Brandon Garcia.
Noted the other day, these Blue Jays were in grade school when that happened to that group. But nevertheless, in their 6th ever trip to the D3 baseball championships, the Jays are trying to finally bring home the top prize. Garcia down 0-2. To right field, Ciani going back on the track, and ball hits off his glove. It stays in play. Garcia all the way around to third as the run scores. Ciani almost made a highlight reel catch to end it, but couldn't squeeze it.
That great effort by the right fielder. And again, he timed his jump right. He just can't get the ball. That's a tough play. Ciani, as you say, almost qualifies for Sports Center. Instead, the ball caroms off his glove and then the wall. Garcia with a run-scoring triple, and Lynchburg will not go quietly.
It's 11-4. Here's Ben Jones. Strike one.
And Romano's next pitch will be his 150th pitch. He is quite the competitor. We saw Matt Savadoff do the same thing the other day. He threw 147 in going the distance.
Jones got a piece of himself on that foul tip. The dogs are barking. Romano's got him 0-2. Lifted to left. Cooper going back. He can't glove it. And Jones drives in a run. It's 11-5. I think Cooper thought he was closer to the wall in that corner back there than he really was.
I would agree. Again, we've talked all week about how this is so much bigger a ballpark than they're used to. And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. In the middle of the warning track, but I don't think he knew where the wall was. And there goes a run-scoring double for Jones. And now here's Neves as Lynchburg clings to faint hopes, but they're still alive.
Ball one to Avery. 11-5 now. There's a strike, 1-1.
Because Sabadoff threw 147 pitches in that complete game Monday, it'll be interesting to see if he's available to pitch in Game 3. It will be on short rest, and that's a lot of pitches to come back from.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Wes Arrington also pitched on Monday through a complete game, allowed a run and 6 hits. We'll see if he's available in Game 3.
Count is full on Neves.
And Lynchburg says, wait a minute, what are you talking about a Game 3 for? We got some work to do here. 2 in, 1 on, 3-2 pitch coming to Neves.
Again. Little flare back behind second. It's going to fall in for a base hit and score another run. 11-6 now in the bottom of the 9th.
He fists that one into short right field. He's a strong man. Showed it there. Romano threw 90 miles an hour in that pitch. His 158th. But again, Lynchburg finds a way. It's their cleanup hitter.
They have plated 3 here in the 9th inning. Down 5. Polkarock. Singled his last time up. We always talk about late insurance runs when you have a lead, and this is why.
And the bullpen is now busy for Johns Hopkins.
He's now down at second. They let him go there. Romano focused on the hitter. It's a strike, 3-1.
It's Ben Keever who is throwing, well, Romano had that delay to tend to a bloody nose earlier. Keeper was throwing back in the 6th. He's up throwing here again in the 9th.
Another strike, another indifference as Neves trots down to 3rd. So full count here on Polkarock. Romano finally ends it. On pitch 164. It goes final 11-6. Let's play 2. Let's play Game 3.
Well, they can come back and make it close, but can't come all the way back against Romano, who certainly turns in a yeoman's effort. He's the big horse that has been there, got by all year, and the All-American responds. Another All-American, Matt Cooper, with a home run that started a 5-run rally to turn this game around in the 5th. He drove in 3 runs. Jimmy Stevens hitting out of the 7-hole, also with a couple big hits. You talked about insurance. Stevens provided it in the 8th with a 2-run homer. He also had a 2-run double to cap that 5-run 5th inning. So Stevens with 4 ribs, Cooper with 3. Souvenir continues his hot hitting. He had a couple hits, including an RBI double. And as you say, we'll do it again in 45 minutes. The winner of the next game between Lynchburg and Hopkins will be the national champion. Johns Hopkins now 48-7 on the year. Lynchburg 47-8. Join Bob and I and our Tupelo Honey crew in 45 minutes for what ought to be, well, a very exciting game.
For Bill Brophy, I'm Bob Brainerd, and our entire crew in Cedar Rapids saying so long for now. Once again, the final in game number 2. It's Johns Hopkins 11, Lynchburg 6. Game 3 coming your way shortly on NCAA.com.